South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hi there and welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Storm season is here and CBS News Miami is committed to making sure you and your family are ready in the wake of any storm. The Insurance Information Institute found that only 18% of Floridians have flood insurance right now. That's likely to change. Carriers, like Citizens, are requiring homeowners in flood zones to carry policies. So what does that mean for you? CBS News Miami's Joan Murray has what you need to know to stay ready.
I've only seen water just to where I'm standing.
In 14 years, Rodney Chin said he's never seen water reach his Miramar driveway. So he was surprised when the city told him he's now in a flood zone and may want to get flood insurance.
Not something that you're going to rule out, but it's something worth serious consideration.
Chin City Miramar is seeing major changes in their flood footprint. This map shows what used to be the flood-prone areas and their new map.
Now look at what is being proposed.
As part of FEMA's periodic reboot of their flood maps. And in South Florida, it's based largely on rainfall, storm surge, and canal location. Broward is adding a huge 88,000 properties. For instance, Miramar has 25,000 more properties in their flood map. Pembroke Pines, 22,000. Fort Lauderdale, an additional 9,400. And Hollywood has added 7,300 properties to their flood map.
We live on a peninsula. We're surrounded by water. Natural disasters are part of being a Floridian.
So this is an example of maybe somebody you would insure. Mimi Stroud is an independent insurance agent. We met her at the Galleria International Realty on Las Olas, where buyers can see what properties are for sale and what it can cost to insure them. Not just for wind damage, but increasingly flood damage.
We need to educate everybody and get the message out there that it's not included in your standard homeowners policy. There is a gap.
And if you have a federally backed mortgage, you will be required to get flood insurance by July 31st. If your property is on the new FEMA flood map, it can be private flood insurance or coverage from the National Flood Insurance Program.
It does have a little bit of limitations. They have a maximum dwelling coverage for a home of $250,000 and a maximum contents coverage of $100,000. So that's a little more limited, where if you have private market flood insurance, you can go up to even up to $3 or $4 million in dwelling coverage if you need to for your more higher value homes down here.
And here's how it adds up. The cost to insure a $500,000 home against flood damage in South Florida can range anywhere from $1,200 to $3,000 a year. But talk to an agent who deals with independent flood insurance companies.
The best way to find the most competitive rate is to shop the property with as many carriers as possible to find the best pricing. Every carrier has a little bit of a different appetite for what they're looking for based on property location and characteristics.
Rodney Chin tells me he will be looking at his elevation and how fast water drains in deciding whether to get flood insurance. He does not have a mortgage and it is not required.
Yeah, and you just have to take your chances because you don't know what, with all the changes and what you see going on in Texas and the mid-states, you don't know what anything is possible now.
No matter where you live, FEMA is recommending everybody in South Florida get flood insurance. And if it is required, you might want to think about getting it now because rates will change after July 31st. In Miramar, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
If you live in a community with a homeowners association, listen up. A new state law goes into effect next month. It requires more transparency from members and limits the fines an HOA can impose on homeowners. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from the hammocks in Kendall to break it all down.
People who have lived in the hammocks said that they've suffered enough at the hands of their HOA. These homeowners have demanded that their board be held accountable for kickbacks and crimes.
I am glad that they're setting up some rules and new rules.
Hammocks resident Rosibet de Jesus is happy about 1203 and Governor Ron DeSantis signed it into law, but she still has serious doubts.
Who is going to enforce it? If they cannot do that, they're doing nothing.
Florida State Representative Juan Carlos Porras is one of the sponsors of the bill that became law.
So now if you are a member of a board, you have to do 4 to 8 hours a year in training.
Echoing Porras' position is Hammock's homeowner Anna Danton. She suffered the arbitrary fines, harassment, and lack of transparency from the HOA.
We have finally opportunity to contract and hire vendors like management companies that are going to serve our interests and not themselves.
We enacted felony charges for kickbacks for members of these associations that receive this monetary gain from being in charge of their associations.
Back in 2022, some board members at the Hammocks were arrested, accused in a scheme of stealing millions of dollars in monthly association fees paid by homeowners. The new law requires HOA transparency. Every HOA must keep its official records for at least 7 years. They cannot be destroyed within that time. HOA must provide notice and agendas for any scheduled meetings of its members for at least 14 days in advance.
But the DBPR still doesn't have enforcement power for it.
Unfortunately, DBPR has not come to the table and asked to do the work that's required.
Here are some of the things that HOAs will not be able to do. Ban homeowners or their invited guests from parking personal business or first responder vehicles. Ban contractors or workers from the homeowner's property. Require review and approval of plans for central air conditioning. Florida HOAs also can't fine residents for leaving garbage cans at the curb or the end of their driveway within 24 hours of a scheduled trash collection. So homeowners who live under an HOA community are urged to read the new law, which actually goes into effect July 1st. In Kendall, Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Sean Kingston is out of the Broward County Jail after posting bond on million-dollar fraud charges last week. The singer and his mother were both arrested following a raid at his home in Southwest Ranches. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein has a look at what's next for the singer.
Covering his head with a towel, singer Sean Kingston walked out of a Broward County jail Tuesday night. Our cameras rolling.
Sean, did you steal jewelry? Sean, did you steal furniture? Sean, did you defraud? All right, what are we at?
In May, authorities took Kingston, whose real name is Kashawn Anderson, into custody after a concert in California. The same day, police raided his rented mansion in Southwest Ranches. Kingston is facing 10 charges, including grand theft and criminal use of an ID for allegedly running an organized scheme to defraud. Investigators say he agreed to be extradited back to South Florida to face the music. His lawyer claims he was coerced and should not face any criminal charges.
Things were being paid back. He had certain obligations he had to meet, and he met some of them in the past, and there was no particular deadline for him to meet the rest of the obligations. I see, like I told you before, I see a civil contract that was breached, that wasn't fulfilled, with no criminal intent.
Kingston's family paying $10,000 to bond him out of jail.
Sean, are you innocent?
As he headed home, the singer didn't say a word about his case, but only spoke up when asked about the luxury car he got into.
Sean, is your Maybach rented?
Nah, hold it. You take the license plate. Yeah, go ahead.
Kingston's mother is facing similar charges. His attorney says he will request a jury trial. In Southwest Ranches, Terry Hornstein, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, we've all heard of Temu, right? See why the popular retailer is now facing some serious allegations.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. ATF agents have been helping Miami Gardens police trace the guns used in recent shootouts. Federal gun charges carry longer sentences, but according to ATF's latest data, less than half of South Florida's cases actually get prosecuted. If you're wondering why, so are we. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward dug for answers.
Bursts of high-powered gunfire. Bullets pelting Miami Gardens cars, homes, windows in 2 shootouts this month.
People scared.
Leave marks that decades-long resident and retired Army soldier Gregory Chess says hurts more when he heard what Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives agents found. This analysis published last month says the U.S. Attorney in South Florida declined to prosecute more than half of all firearms trafficking cases between 2017 and 2021. The region's prosecutors declined 48 cases. That's more than all 3 Georgia districts combined. In northern Florida, the U.S. Attorney accepted more than 80% of cases during the same time frame. South Florida's U.S. Attorney did not answer our message for comment, but Marquincy LaPointe took office in 2022. The study's data ended the year before. Friday, his office charged 13 men and women for illegally buying and selling guns near Miami. In a statement, LaPointe says Our office will continue to work with law enforcement partners to identify targets who unlawfully traffic in and possess firearms, prosecute offenders, and reduce gun violence.
What is the impact of that on this community, you think?
It's a big impact because crime.
ATF sent an agent to help Miami Gardens police calm recent violence, mostly through gun tracing. Federal weapons charges carry stiffer punishment when prosecuted.
We stand with our state and local partners in the fight against violent crime.
ATF recently moved to broaden the definition of arms dealers to slow illegal sales, but some say it does little about online personal deals.
It's a very controversial topic within the firearms community.
Matt Miller is CEO of a Florida-based company that runs 2 gun websites. One buys firearms from people across the country, the other sells them.
I've seen, cases where people who wanted to buy guns weren't able to, probably, that shouldn't have been able to. And so the idea that they can just go out and meet some stranger somewhere, to buy a gun, to me is an area that we should look at closing.
Back in Miami Gardens.
I think they're doing not a good choice. They're not making a good choice.
Rashida Quijones rushed to her bus wanting more from prosecutors.
Police officers here say they plan to keep working with ATF, whose research says federal prosecutors most often decline to take cases to trial because of evidence and not having enough. In some of those cases, they're kicked to state attorneys. In Miami Gardens, Larry Seward, CBS News, Miami.
It's the online shopping platform gaining attention in part because of its many ads during the Super Bowl, but also because of the many influencers touting products found online. It's called Temu, and like TikTok, it's owned by a company based in China. As alleged in lawsuits, it's secretly taking users' private data and tracking them. CBS News Miami's Keith Jones explores what's the deal.
One is so cute. It says face on it. It is nearly identical to my Apple Watch, and just wait until I tell you how much I paid for this.
They call them Temu hauls, influencers showing off purchases from one of the hottest online merchant apps, boasting a motto, shop like a billionaire. The disclaimer, they're paid by or partnered with that company, Temu. Now you scroll the site or the app and you see ridiculously low prices on anything from clothes to appliances, furniture to electronics. And to, well, whatever this is.
My cat needed a water fountain. She didn't end up liking it, but it's okay. I gave it a shot anyways.
Was that free or did you pay for that?
That I paid for. I think I paid $2 for it.
Nick Casanueva is a student at Miami-Dade College, and when his head isn't in the books, it's on the Temu app looking for his own haul. And every friend group has, well, a Nick.
I was that really annoying friend for a couple weeks that was sending links and asking people to sign up for it. And eventually I got enough people to sign up that, they gave it to me. They gave me some stuff for free.
His freebie? Apparently every college student needs one. A lightsaber. And remember that smartwatch? Almost identical to the Apple Watch?
Right now, it is on their website for under $15.
There's a very old saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Enter the former federal prosecutor David Weinstein, and some would argue the voice of caution. I had Weinstein look over 2 federal class action lawsuits filed against Temu and its parent company. One's out of Illinois, the other out of New York. Both allege the same shady practices by Temu.
What's happening is it's a class action about people who had identity theft.
According to the lawsuits, Temu, a Chinese-owned company, has a complete arsenal of tools to exfiltrate virtually all the private data on a user's device, and that it gains access to literally everything on your phone. In fact, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who sits on the Congressional Executive Commission on China, wrote a letter to Homeland Security alleging Temu's data gathering may be even more dangerous than TikTok's. If what's in these lawsuits are true, Weinstein says it has the potential to ruin financial lives.
You're going to have trouble accessing your bank account. You're going to probably have trouble filing your taxes because somebody's now logged in and taken your Social Security numbers.
I reached out to Temu for a response, which it tendered within a couple of days, saying we categorically deny the allegations in the lawsuits and intend to vigorously defend ourselves against them. Temu went on to say it partnered with cybersecurity agency HackerOne to offer a bug bounty program, joining Facebook, Google, and Amazon, which also use HackerOne. Finally, Temu says it's working with the Better Business Bureau to address customer concerns, which are on par with comparable companies. Temu calls these allegations meritless, and that's good enough for Nick. He reconciles his cavalier attitude with perhaps a reasonable argument to keep shopping like a billionaire.
So to me, it's what's another company having a privacy breach?
Keith Jones, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, a Miami Heat legend shares a surprise diagnosis, how he's turning his major health scare into a mission to inspire others.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. In today's Miami Proud, we feature the Florida Bee Rescue. The South Florida beekeepers specialize in swarm removals in homes and businesses, then transport the bees to a local Florida bee rescue. CBS News Miami's Naja Sherman takes you behind the scenes of their operation and explains why it's so important.
We caught up with Florida Bee Rescue owner Victor Gonzalez in action. He got a call from homeowner Maria de Aza about the swarm of bees outside her home.
They say that has been there for a long time, so I was very surprised. I just saw once them drinking because I have a fountain with water for the birds. And I see a lot of bees sometimes in the drinking water.
Gonzalez took us through the process as he worked to remove the bees.
If you can see these homeowners, they have a bee problem right there. And then today we're going to be rescuing those bees, bring it back to the new home at the farm. We're going to catch the queen here. This is a clip, a specific clip. And then once we see the queen there, we just got the queen, put it separated from the hive.
He says the queen is the main priority because all the other bees follow the queen. And now for the smoker. Gonzalez says this makes the bees a little more gentle, making the removal a little easier.
One of the biggest reasons for me that I always want to rescue them is because a lot of people, they don't know how important they are for us, man. And then be able to do this kind of job for me is a big blessing too.
Florida Bee Rescue is a third-generation family-owned business. Gonzalez says his family has dedicated more than 40 years to beekeeping, care, and protection of bees.
My goal in the company has always been, obviously, rescue the bees. When I jumped to this business, I noticed a lot of pest control companies, they were killing the bees, and then I find out, wait, that is no needed to killing the bees, guys. You know, we use our service, we come to your house, to commercial, and we rescue them.
Gonzalez transports the bees to his family's Florida Bee Rescue Farm, where the honeybees are cared for by an experienced beekeeper, and the bees can continue to thrive, pollinate, and contribute to our local ecosystem.
Honeybees are responsible for pollinating 80% of all of the food we eat. Without them, we and our planet would be in trouble. The mission of the Florida Bee Rescue is to change people's minds on exterminating bees and allow Florida Bee Rescue to safely relocate them so they can live healthy lives. Naja Sherman, CBS News, Miami.
Miami Heat legend Alonzo Mourning has revealed that he recently had surgery for prostate cancer. The Basketball Hall of Famer says he is now cancer-free and using his story to fuel his new purpose with the hope of saving lives. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois has more.
Fans are surprised to learn of the 54-year-old's cancer diagnosis, and they say they're ready to learn from Alonzo Mourning's life lesson. Alonzo Mourning is today cancer-free. According to a report by ESPN, the Miami Heat alum got his prostate removed back in March after a cancer diagnosis that came in late February. He says he discovered it during a routine screening. Mourning saying, quote, "We live in a world where it's taboo among men to talk about health issues. If I didn't get routine checkups, I probably wouldn't be here to talk about this. I want men to be proactive with their health." In front of the Kaseya Center, we asked Heat fans that very question. Have you guys had your prostate cancer screenings? Yes, I'm getting in your business.
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Like I say, we just out here to have a good time.
But I know it needs to be done.
Mourning retired in 2008, but still works in the Miami Heat's front office. He says he now wants to be an advocate, encouraging men to get their screenings, saying, quote, "The only way to find out is to get their blood tested and get their PSA checked. There are 3.3 million men living in the U.S. with prostate cancer, and many don't even know it." One fan also encouraging others to get screened, saying he'd already gotten his. Have you gotten your prostate checked?
Yes, and I'm pretty good. Yes, definitely good. Yes. So definitely by me telling you that, I know he'll be good.
Man, shout out Alonzo, man. Hope everything goes great with him, man. He's a great guy, man. Shout out to him, Pat Riley, whole organization.
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll still keep moving.
Alonzo Mourning says he was healthy before learning he had cancer, keeping up with workouts, even still working in the front office. And it's why the diagnosis came as a shock, and even more why it's fueling him to become an advocate. In downtown Miami, Tanya Francois, CBS News, Miami.
Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here on CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great one.